Mike Davis comes out with a range-finding jab to start. Again, Oliver trains boxing all the time, Jeremy, an underrated facet of his game.
Constantly knowing that he's got wrestling to fall back on. He doesn't train it as much, focuses more on his striking. Says that's a weakness in his game, or was a weakness in his game, and he wants it to be stronger.
I did talk to him. He said this camp, spending a lot of time with his old wrestling coach, Mike Dunn, said he got away from the conditioning that made him so effective as an amateur and felt like he needed to get that back up to pace here as a professional. And so he spent a lot of time with his camp, with his old wrestling coach, building up that conditioning again.
Well, and training every day with Justin Pazra, who is a amateur champion. And again, those are top level wrestlers in this country, both Keegan and Justin Pazra. Nice spinning kick by Keegan, something new in the arsenal.
Spinning kick to the midsection lands. Leg kick now lands. Keegan trying to find his way in. Mike Davis doing a good job on defense so far. Hasn't really taken a lot of damage. Has landed a couple strikes of his own.
Mike Davis, a very patient fighter, always has been in his career. Tries to pick his spots and find weaknesses in his opponent's game.
Calls himself a grinder and a crafty fighter. Bit of a mouse now coming under the eye of Mike Davis. Oliver managed to slip that left hand through.
Nice leg kick by Keegan.
Oliver took the low blow initially, time called by the ref, but immediately called back in.
And there was a little bit of a nod from Mike Davis saying, hey man, I didn't mean to do it, but you know, thanks for getting right back into it.
So a small amount of respect shown between these two.
The respect is huge between the two. They respect one another. They respect their abilities. They just don't like one another.
Big leg kicks now coming from Davis. Oliver trying to answer with one of his own.
Here's the big thing for Keegan Oliver is the way he's standing. He is standing in an orthodox stance, which is opposite from his wrestling stance. A nice another leg kick from Mike Davis. And one thing that Keegan has worked on is being able to shoot with that left leg being forward. So being able to have the wrestling and still be able to be in that orthodox stance. Nice check.
Oliver a moment ago looking for the head kick. Both guys using their legs very effectively here in round one. You're starting to see those, both of them now starting to check those leg kicks, which is an indication that the first one's come in hard.
Nice liver punch from Keegan. And nice return kick from Mike Davis.
Oliver trying to find his spot. Davis picking his moments from outside. Kick to the midsection leads to a takedown. Oliver caught the kick and was able to press his way through.
And these are both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belts, so look for them to try and use that ability. But Mike Davis is deadly from the bottom. He will try and land those elbows and those punches you see to the side of the head of Keegan Oliver. And some top kicks from Oliver now.
Davis ate a punch on his way up. But it was a nice sequence for Oliver in a round that's gone both, that's seen both fighters land some punches, land some strikes. A nice kind of emphasis for the round for Oliver.
Well, and anytime you can get a takedown, and here's another attempt. Mike Davis giving space, an excellent job. He gave space and made Keegan Oliver stretch out, and as soon as Keegan Oliver was stretched out, he had no choice but to abandon the takedown attack, but now pushing Mike Davis up against the cage.
Knees from both fighters up against the cage, and they separate. Again, Keegan Oliver trying to kind of rebound in his career. A win over Michael Davis would really push him up those pro rankings.
Yeah, this is more of a grudge match for Michael Davis. This would be a statement match for Keegan Oliver.
Oliver with a big smile after dancing out of the way of that kick. Short time left in round number one. Mike Davis and Keegan Oliver going toe-to-toe. Oliver dancing away with his hands raised, and that is round one action. Mike Davis, a grudge match not indicative of records, as Davis currently ranked number 6 in the country for flyweights. Oliver down at 22, but looking to climb that ladder with a win here tonight.
Well, and this is a matchup that Davis, a second it was offered to him, he said he accepted in emphatic terms to Sarah Howell, the matchmaker of Hard Knocks Fighting. So again, this is a matchup both these guys have wanted for a while.
Davis trying to dance around the outside, landing strikes. Again, you can see that Oliver now checking the kicks that he might not have checked early in round one. The knee on both sides of that lead leg is red. Oliver now looking to respond with a high kick. That time Davis got a punch through. Oliver lands one on his way back.
And one thing that Keegan is doing that he needs to work is he's punching, looping around. And Mike Davis, every time he sees that shoulder action on the looping punch, is throwing a straight punch ahead that's landing and interrupting the punch from Keegan. So he's got to set it up with a couple jabs, punches and bunches.
Using that looping punch to land a leg kick, a snapping leg kick back the other way from Davis.
And Davis very accurate with these leg kicks. He is punishing the lead leg of Keegan Oliver.
Caught the kick and tried to land a couple punches on the way through.
A front kick to the knee, those ones hurt.
That time a clash of shins. That one, a kick right to the front from Keegan Oliver, just smacking each other with leg kicks as if to say, anything you can kick, I can kick harder.
Well, and the action from Keegan Oliver has started to perhaps get into his head, because he's starting to throw these with a little bit of anger behind them. The problem with anger behind your kicks is they might land and they might do damage, but Mike Davis very clinical. He might be able to pick you apart if you come in sloppy.
Oliver with a nice combination up against the cage there a moment ago. Caught the kick but had to let it go.
Kick hurts.
That kick landed and thudded through the arena.
And again, even if you're checking the kicks do hurt. And so again, Keegan Oliver getting that front lead leg victimized by Mike Davis right now. And that one hit him.
That one hit him a little low.
Thicker. So Andy Soch saying I'm going to have a chat with Mike Davis. Keegan saying he just wants to get back in the fight.
So because it's a second time, he's going to give him a warning. But no points coming off. Mike Davis, of course, the champion in the flyweight division at Unified Mixed Martial Arts. You can see now a punch used to shoot, and Keegan Oliver trying to grab the back of Mike Davis, firing a knee in, an elbow in response from Davis. Oliver may be in a good position here, Jeremy, if he can sneak over the top.
Good timing by Keegan Oliver on the initial takedown, but initially, here is Mike Davis trying for the switch. This is a position that a wrestler slash jiu-jitsu purple belt is going to work in every single day. And here's the takedown continuity from Keegan Oliver. Has the hands locked and does secure a takedown here. Not a big emphatic slam, but if you look at Keegan, he's trying to climb forward and get into the mount position. Mike Davis doing an excellent job retreating and getting his back against the cage.
So Oliver on top of Mike Davis now, and Davis quickly back to his feet. As you mentioned, Jeremy, was able to use the cage to keep himself upright. Oliver has had a smothering attack throughout his MMA career.
That's
a big elbow.
That is the first real significant strike that Keegan Oliver has landed to the head of Mike Davis. And Mike Davis seemed to just shrug that one off, but that was a vicious elbow.
Big kick to the midsection now from Oliver, finding a little bit of juice here in round number 2.
And that the punishment that Mike Davis has laid on that lead leg is starting to affect Keegan Oliver, because now when Mike Davis goes to throw, and now Mike Davis going for a takedown, but every time Mike Davis goes to throw a kick on that lead leg, Keegan's hands are dropping to try and stop it.
Some old school foot stomps from Mike Davis, just trying to punish Keegan Oliver. I can tell you, a foot stomp's not going to stop a fight, but it sure don't feel good. Although training every day at Arashido in Red Deer was some of the best.
Well, and watch the pace pick up here. Keegan got told by his corner he must pick up the pace, try and find an opening on Mike Davis. You can also imagine that in that corner he was told, look, you might be down 2 rounds here, so you're going to have to put up the pace. You're going to have to try and finish this fight.
A pair of inside leg kicks from Oliver to start the round. Nice kick to the body from Davis. Oliver caught it though and managed to land a looping left hand. Oliver trying to, again, a solid boxer, Jeremy, and gets in there and mixes it up. You gotta wonder if in this 3rd round, his best way to victory might not be on the ground.
Well, again, it's trying to get in. Mike Davis is an accomplished mixed martial artist, and he doesn't get taken down by an easy attack. So Keegan's gonna have to set up the attack. Still lots of time left, 3 minutes, 45 seconds in this final round. But if I'm Keegan Oliver, I know I got to come forward, because I very well might be down 2 rounds. However, I could very well be up 2 rounds.
I was about to, a nice knockdown there in a left hand from Keegan Oliver. Again, a very tough fight to call. Davis is probably at the better of the striking on the feet, although I think Oliver might have landed more punches. And on the other side, we've got Keegan Oliver, who has secured a couple takedowns.
Keegan seems to be content to take the leg kick for an opportunity to get a takedown and land that big punch, that big looping right again. When you get a hold of the leg, your opponent can't move out of the way nearly as much, so it gives you a very small target to be able to hit.
It's Keegan Oliver and Michael Davis in our first pro fight of the night here at Hard Knocks 49 after a great amateur main event that saw Sam Franchi defend his title. A title that used to be held by this man here, Keegan Oliver. Oliver continues to land punches when Davis comes in.
And you mentioned Davis being crafty. He faked the kick, a slow kick. Keegan went down to catch it, and then Davis threw a punch and just missed Keegan's head. But perhaps now reading in the game plan of Keegan Oliver and trying to counter with what Keegan gives him. Nice straight jab by Keegan.
Again, reach. They are the same height, but Davis a bit longer, a fighter, snapping the head back. Was a jab from Oliver, and another popping jab.
Keegan Oliver has done a great job in this round, and Mike Davis finally looks flustered. He hasn't looked flustered for this entire fight, but Keegan Oliver has been landing accurately, the blood pouring from the nose of Mike Davis.
I think Mike Davis is getting a lot more from Keegan Oliver than he expected. Another nice right hand after catching the kick. Keegan Oliver trying to put a statement on this fight, show the judges that he won the first 2 rounds. Just over a minute remaining in the 3rd and final round between Keegan Oliver and Mike Davis. Davis coming in with a record of 11-5. 3-5 for Keegan Oliver, but this a very tight matchup between these 2 skilled fighters.
Nice kick by Mike Davis. able to get in and use that kick at range and be able to duck his head out of the way. Nice response back now from Keegan as he starts to throw punches and bunches.
You can hear the fans now realizing there's short time left in this fight. Just over 30 seconds to go in the third and final round in this entertaining striking matchup between Keegan Oliver and Michael Davis. Despite Keegan Oliver's wrestling background, not a lot of room on the ground here in this fight, and has done everything he can to finish it on his feet. Mike Davis has been landing strikes with crispness through the 3 rounds. This one may go to the judges' scorecards with just 10 seconds to go. Short time left. We'll see if they finish with a flurry. Oliver tries to land a leg kick, spins out of it, and that will be the end of the fight. Keegan Oliver puts his hands up as if to say he's got it.